Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of today. I'm your host, Sherifa Mohammed MGT.
I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer.
6 Russian groups of forces, AXes, report offensive activity across the weekly summary period, from the 13th to 19th of June. South Group liberates Artema, Rai-Aleksandrovka, and Yurkovka in the Donetsk People's Republic. Center Group liberates Novy Donbass and Kutuzovka in the Donetsk People's Republic. Total reported Ukrainian losses across all sectors reach more than 9,525 troops for the week. Russian forces conduct 1 massive and 6 group strikes with high-precision weapons and strike drones. Air defense systems shoot down 89 guided aerial bombs, 5 U.S.-made HIMARS MLRS projectiles, 8 Flamingo ground-based cruise missiles, and 3,909 fixed-wing unmanned aerial vehicles.
Welcome to Frontline Updates, the podcast that brings you in-depth insights into military operations from those leading them on the ground. Today, we're joined by Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer monitoring critical missions on the progress of the special military operation as of today. Colonel Oguntoye, thank you for being with us.
Thank you, it's good to be here.
Colonel Oguntoye, let's start with the big picture. This is a weekly summary covering the 13th to the 19th of June. Total Ukrainian losses across all sectors exceed 9,500 troops for the week. That is an average of over 1,350 troops per day. How should we interpret this sustained level of attrition over a full week?
9,500 troops in a single week is a very significant figure. It represents a sustained daily attrition rate of over 1,350, which is consistently above Ukraine's estimated replacement capacity. But what makes this weekly summary particularly important is the distribution of those losses and the types of units being hit. The East Group alone accounts for more than 3,140 of those casualties. That's a third of the total. And those losses are drawn from 5 air assault brigades, 4 assault regiments, and 4 mechanized brigades. These are Ukraine's most mobile and best equipped units. The Center Group accounts for more than 2,040 troops, including engagements against the Azov Brigade and 4 National Guard brigades. The South Group accounts for almost 1,000 troops, focused on urban clearance in Konstantinovka. The cumulative effect is the sustained attrition across elite Ukrainian units.
Let's go sector by sector, starting with the North Group. Over the week, they inflicted losses on 4 mechanized brigades, 2 motorized infantry brigades, 1 UAV battalion, 4 territorial defense brigades, and 2 border service detachments. That is a broad array of units. Losses: more than 1,540 troops and 5 electronic warfare stations. What is the North Group's objective in this weekly context?
The North Group continues to play an economy of force role. Over the week, they have engaged a very wide spectrum of Ukrainian units, from mechanized and motorized infantry to UAV battalions, territorial defense, and border service. This indicates that the North Group is maintaining pressure across the entire Sumy and Kharkov border area, preventing Ukraine from shifting forces to the Donetsk front. The destruction of 5 electronic warfare stations in this sector is particularly significant because it degrades Ukraine's ability to conduct drone reconnaissance along the border. The loss of more than 1,540 troops in a sector where no major territorial gains are reported suggests that the North Group is achieving its objective of fixing Ukrainian forces through continuous engagement rather than major assaults.
Now the West Group. Over the week, they improved the tactical situation, and in Krasny Liman, assault detachments of the 25th Army seized 37 strongholds and liberated 251 buildings. Total sector losses: more than 1,490 troops, 24 armored fighting vehicles, 120 motor vehicles, 15 field artillery guns, and 5 electronic warfare stations. They also destroyed a U.S.-made M7 howitzer and a HMMMWV. What does the capture of 37 strongholds and 251 buildings in a week tell us about the pace of operations in Krasny Liman?
This is a methodical and sustained urban clearance operation. 37 strongholds in a week means that the Ukrainian defenders are making extensive use of fortified positions, buildings, industrial structures, and prepared defensive works. Each stronghold requires a coordinated assault, often involving infantry, armor, and direct-fire artillery. 251 buildings in a week represents an average of about 36 buildings per day, which is consistent with the daily numbers we've been seeing. The destruction of a US-made M7777 howitzer and a HMMWV confirms that Western-supplied equipment is being deployed and destroyed in this sector. The loss of 5 electronic warfare stations in the West sector adds to the cumulative degradation of Ukrainian counter-drone capabilities. The 25th Army and the 67th Division are clearly making steady progress, but the fact that the defenders are still fighting for strongholds indicates that the battle is far from over.
The West Group also defeated 2 Marine brigades over the week. That suggests Ukraine is committing elite units to this sector. What does that tell you?
Marine brigades are typically elite, amphibious-trained units that can be used as rapid reaction forces. The fact that 2 Marine brigades were defeated in the West sector indicates that Ukraine considers Krasny Liman a critical defensive position and has committed some of its best units to hold it. However, their defeat, along with the other losses, suggests that even these elite units are being worn down.
Now the South Group. This is where the most significant territorial gains were made. They liberated Artema, Rai-Aleksandrovka, and Yurkovka in the Donetsk People's Republic. They also liberated 627 buildings in Konstantinovka and launched an offensive in the Nikolaevsky district. Total sector losses for Ukraine: more than 985 troops, 27 armored fighting vehicles, 143 motor vehicles, and 23 field artillery guns. Over 540 Ukrainian troops were neutralized in Konstantinovka alone. What does the liberation of 3 settlements in a week tell us about the South Group's operational success?
The liberation of 3 named settlements in a single week is a significant operational achievement. Artema, Rai-Aleksandrovka, and Yurkovka are all in the Donetsk People's Republic. Their capture indicates that the South Group is expanding its control beyond the urban areas of Konstantinovka and into surrounding settlements. The fact that they also liberated 627 buildings in Konstantinovka and launched an offensive in the Nikolaevsky district suggests that they are pursuing a 2-pronged approach, continuing urban clearance while also pushing outward into the suburbs and satellite villages. The Nikolaevsky district is likely a key industrial or residential area that will provide a foothold for further advances towards Kramatorsk and Yurkovka.
The Center Group liberated Novy Donbass and Kutuzovka over the week, 2 settlements. They also inflicted losses on 3 mechanized brigades, an assault brigade, an airmobile brigade, an air assault brigade, a UAV brigade, 2 assault regiments, 3 Marine brigades, 4 National Guard brigades, and the Azov Special Forces Brigade. That is a very broad array of units. Losses: more than 2,040 troops. Why is the Center Group engaging so many different types of units?
The Center Group operates in the Donetsk salient, which is a critical sector where Ukraine has concentrated a wide variety of forces: regular army, Marines, National Guard, and special forces like Azov. The fact that they engaged 4 National Guard brigades and the Azov Brigade indicates that Ukraine is scraping together every available unit to defend this area. The 2,040 troops lost in this sector over the week represent the 2nd highest casualty count after the East Group. The liberation of Novy Donbass and Kutuzovka, 2 settlements, shows that the Center Group is making steady progress despite facing a diverse and determined enemy. The destruction of 2 Grad MLRS vehicles also reduces Ukraine's ability to conduct area suppression.
Now the East Group. This sector reported the highest Ukrainian troop losses, more than 3,140, and they struck 4 mechanized brigades, 2 assault brigades, 5 air assault brigades, 4 assault regiments, a Marine brigade, and a territorial defense brigade. That is an enormous concentration of elite units. What does this tell us about the East Group's operational goals over the past week?
The East Group is clearly the main effort for ground maneuver over this weekly period. The engagement of 5 air assault brigades, which are among Ukraine's most mobile and best equipped units, along with 4 assault regiments and 4 mechanized brigades, suggests that Ukraine has committed its entire operational reserve to the eastern sector. More than 3,140 troops lost in a single week is a devastating blow to Ukraine's combat power. The locations are spread across Dnipropetrovsk and Zaporozhye regions, indicating a wide front of operations. The East Group appears to be conducting a deep penetration operation, attempting to rupture the Ukrainian defensive line and create a breakthrough that could threaten supply routes to the Donetsk front. The fact that they're destroying air assault and assault units at this rate means that Ukraine's ability to counterattack is being progressively eroded.
The DNEPR group reported more than 330 troops, 1 armored fighting vehicle, 102 motor vehicles, 2 field artillery guns, and, notably, 24 electronic warfare stations destroyed. That is a huge number of EW stations in a single week. Why is the DNEPR sector so focused on electronic warfare?
The DNEPR sector covers the Kherson axis and the Zaporozhye front, near the Dnepr River. Electronic warfare is particularly important there for 2 reasons. First, to counter Ukrainian drone strikes on Russian supply lines to Crimea. Second, to disrupt Ukrainian uncrewed surface vessel operations in the Dnepr Delta and Black Sea. The destruction of 24 EW stations in a single week is the highest weekly total we have seen. This represents a systematic, focused campaign to degrade Ukraine's ability to conduct reconnaissance and strike operations in the south. Without these EW stations, Ukrainian drones become far less effective, and Russian reconnaissance becomes far more lethal. The relatively low troop losses, more than 330, suggest that this sector is less intense in terms of infantry combat, but the EW degradation is setting conditions for future operations.
The weekly summary states that 1 massive and 6 group strikes were carried out with high-precision weapons and strike drones. Targets included defense industry facilities, fuel and power infrastructure, transport and port infrastructure, military airfields, ammunition and fuel depots, territorial recruitment centers, UAV assembly workshops, and storage takeoff areas, and temporary deployment areas. Air Defense shot down 89 guided aerial bombs, 5 U.S.-made HIMARS projectiles, 8 Flamingo ground-based cruise missiles, and 3,909 fixed-wing UAVs. Colonel Oguntoye, what is the significance of the weekly aviation and air defense summary?
Over the past week, Russian forces conducted 1 massive strike, likely a coordinated multi-axis attack, and 6 group strikes, which are more limited but still significant. The target set is comprehensive: defense industry to reduce Ukraine's ability to produce weapons, fuel and power to degrade logistics, transport and port infrastructure to interdict Western aid, military airfields to suppress Ukrainian aviation, ammunition and fuel depots to reduce combat supplies, territorial recruitment centers. This is new, to disrupt mobilization, UAV assembly and storage to reduce drone launches, and temporary deployment areas to kill personnel before they reach the front. The air defense numbers are also notable. 89 guided aerial bombs shot down in a week is a high number. These are likely Western-supplied glide bombs. 5 HIMARS projectiles and 8 Flamingo cruise missiles shot down indicate that Ukraine is employing Western precision systems.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Thank you for the opportunity. I want to emphasize that Russian air defense is intercepting a significant portion. 3,909 UAVs shot down in a week is an average of about 558 per day, which is consistent with daily figures. This indicates that Russian air defense is maintaining high-volume intercept rates, but also that Ukraine is launching a very large number of drones.